When you're talking about your domain and range, looking at a function that ends up giving you a graph like this, right? Hi, I've been a math and science teacher for 20 years, and I'm here to make science and math more engaging and fun for everyone involved. For the helpers, for the students, for the teachers. If you have something that you're working on that's just not clicking in class, send me a comment so I can add it to the list for Thursday, or reach out. We can even do just a one-off tutoring session, okay? So check my rates, do all of that, click the link and do the stuff. So in this case, it is going to keep going forever and ever and ever and ever. It is going to pass through all of my X values. It's gonna pass through all of the X values. So your domain is going to be all of your X values. So the domain for this one in particular, so remember, domain is all your possible X values that's going to pass through. So your domain for this would be, is it curly braces? Ooh, I think it is X such that all real numbers. So your X value is going to be your domain is going to be all real numbers. Because you know that it's going to be all the possible numbers. Your range is your Y values. The lowest Y value that you can get is this -1. It's right here. There will not be any Y value that's lower than -1. You can see that just by looking at the graph. You can also, if you graph this on your graphing calculator or something, you can take a look at the table. There will be no Y values that are lower than -1. The range would be, Y just has to be greater than or equal to -1. With the domain and range, it depends on what your teacher is looking for, right? What kind of math level you're at, how you want to do like the notation and things like that. But ultimately, the domain is all the possible X values that you can have. In this case, it's all of them, right? And your range is all the possible Y values that it can have. In this case, there's nothing that's going below -1. So that's your range, is everything above -1. It's not always going to be all real numbers. It is quite often all real numbers. The domain and range, especially for linear equations, is quite often all real numbers. But when you get into other equations, sometimes you might see a function that's something like this. So in that case, your X value would only be the values that are greater than 1. And your Y value is certainly not going to be less than 0. That's mathed up.